Who happens to be my land banker. My wife and I have actually invested 5 times now with Marcella. Marcella Silva is with Velur Enterprises Incorporated, and she is a certified land banking specialist, helping individuals invest in strategically located land in very specific high-growth areas of California. After purchasing her first property in 2008 using an old 401k, she quickly saw the wealth-generating power of Velur's land banking methodology and retired from her career as a software engineer with Lawrence Livermore National Lab to share her discovery with others. Marcella is passionate about giving people hope that retirement and financial freedom is possible. Through her accumulated land banking knowledge and success, Marcella now manages and mentors a team of land banking consultants here in the Bay Area. Please welcome Marcella Silva.
Thank you very much, Brad, and thank all of you for having me here today. You guys look surprisingly wonderful considering you had a late evening, partying all night. Sorry I missed that. So yes, Marcella Silva with Velur Enterprises. I am a land banking consultant, and my goal today is to educate you about a different way of investing in real estate, specifically in land. Now, some of you might be thinking, land? Why would I want to invest in land? There's no cash flow in it. Land is only for developers. Land is only for wealthy people. Well, that's a little misnomer that some people have. And you know, I might tell someone, you should have bought this land 20 years ago. This happens to be in your own backyard. This is what it looks like today. If you had bought that land when it was affordable, you would have generational wealth. For example, this particular family, Bay Area family here in Dublin, California, sold the Wallace Ranch, 184 acres for $200 million. That's $1.1 million per acre. If you had bought it for $50,000 per acre, do you think you'd ever have to work again? I don't think so. That's what we do here at Velur Enterprises, finding the right areas to invest in and getting there before the developers get there. But there's a lot of information, details, research that goes behind that. A lot of times people think land is very speculative, and traditionally it is if you don't know what you're doing. If you buy a bad piece of land to begin with, it will always be bad. It's not like a house that you can fix up. So before I go into more details, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. And Erin, wherever you are, yes, I'm guilty of not updating my professional picture.
It looks great.
Thank you. So I grew up in northern New Mexico, out in the middle of nowhere. Very beautiful area if you've ever been there. My parents owned their own hunting business, taking people hunting for a living, and they did very well with their business. And over time, they would take all of their money and invest it in real estate, mostly in land all throughout New Mexico. So I grew up with a familiarity of land investing because of my parents and had an affinity towards it, but I didn't really put it in my life until I found Velur Enterprises. So, oops, lost moving pieces here. So I went to University of New Mexico, got a bachelor's degree in management information systems. I did so well in college that I was recruited to work at Lawrence Livermore Lab as a software engineer. That's how I went from New Mexico to the beautiful state of California. Absolutely love it here. Definitely a land of opportunity. And while working at the lab back in 2007, they went through a major transition. And you know, I'm looking at my old 401k at the time thinking to myself, the only way this is going up is when I put money into it. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm never going to be able to retire at the rate that I want to retire at, especially here in California with this 401k that I'm just constantly feeding money into. And the only way it's going up is when I put that money in. So I knew I had to find something else to invest in. That's what prompted me to start looking into real estate investing. Start going to seminars, educating myself about it, learning more about it, and along the way I decided I really didn't want to become a landlord. Didn't want to deal with the tenants, toilets, and termites. Not that that's a bad thing, it just wasn't right for me. Then I found land banking and knew that it was the perfect opportunity. So in March of 2008, I took my old 401k, rolled it into what's called a self-directed IRA, and used that IRA to purchase my first property. This is it here on the screen. 1 1/4 acres, zoned heavy industrial, purchase price $70,000, $34 per square foot, a little over $58,000 per acre. In the very much affordable range. I don't have to be extremely wealthy to invest with this. As a matter of fact, our goal is to help the average middle class investor create wealth, not just the wealthy get wealthier. So March 2008, think about that time, that's when the economy started to crash. A lot of people would say, it's in Southern California, which we'll go into further. A lot of people would say, Marcella, well, why would you invest in real estate in the height of the market? You're crazy, right? Well, luckily I took my money out of the stock market before I lost a bunch of it, like so many of my coworkers did. Within the first year of me owning my land, 2 new developments came in right next to it. Half a mile to the south, brand new commercial development with gas station, restaurant, shops. Can't really see it very well here, but that's an actual picture of the development. And to the right, sitting on 100 acres of land, a company called E-Solar opened up their first test alternative energy plant. They're partially funded by Google, so I can say Google is my neighbor. But would you agree in this picture now, there's less land available to be developed because those developments came in? Well, that's ultimately causing the surrounding values of land to go up in value. Within 6 months of me purchasing my land, CBRE, very well-known commercial real estate broker, was selling same zoning land as mine, industrial, a little bit smaller than mine, 1.17 acres, mine was 1 1/4, for $199,500 or $3.91 per square foot. Like I said, I bought mine for $70,000. This is why I fell in love with land banking and decided to retire from being a software engineer to let other people know about this amazing opportunity. Some of those people happen to be in this room today. For example, Brad Warren, he and his wife are multiple investors with me. Tim Toda, multiple investor, Cove Corey. Me and my husband, we now own 6 parcels, and our goal is to buy 2 to 3 per year because we know what's happening in the area. We know the wealth that can be created through land. But of course, you have to buy it right to begin with, and that's where our company comes in. So since I purchased my property, obviously those developments came in. Also, the California high-speed rail has been approved. That's coming in half a mile from my property. And just last year, a major manufacturer out of China opened 2 manufacturing plants in the city where we invest. One of them happens to be less than half a mile from my property. BYD is owned by the richest man in China. They manufacture 90% of all batteries in the world and are the largest manufacturer of electric cars in China. Now you might be thinking, doesn't manufacturing go to China from the US instead of China coming to the US? Well, that's typically what has happened. But there's actually a paradigm shift happening right now around manufacturing. A lot of manufacturers are coming back to the United States, and we know the areas where they are going, where there's land affordable, and where they want those types of developments. So of course we're positioning investors in front of that development. But that's just one small trend of many different trends causing the areas where we invest to grow. So what we specialize in is known as land banking, which by definition is the practice of buying affordable, pre-developed land located in the path of growth. Just like what the Bay Area used to look like 15, 20 years ago. But it's too late here in the Bay Area for a good land banking opportunity. Can you buy land in the Bay Area? Absolutely, but it's not a good land banking opportunity anymore. It's too late, it's too expensive. And I'll show you an example of a perfect land banking opportunity that is no longer available. Milpitas, 1993. This is a Google image backdated. You can actually backdate an area to see what it used to look like. Here's Freeway 880, Highway 237. Pre-developed means existing developments, existing infrastructure, but still a lot of land available to be developed. That's when you want to invest in it. It's also a high-growth area. You have population centers like San Jose, San Francisco, causing the Bay Area to grow. At this point, it's about 1,000 to 70,000 per acre, depending on zoning and location. Still affordable, right? 7 years later, click the button, tons of development comes in. This is why I always tell people we're investing in land because they're not making any more of it. As there's less and less of it available, it's a finite resource. What does it do to the value? It's simple supply and demand, continually going up. At this point, $500,000 to $1 million per acre, and today you're talking $2 to $7 million per acre. So of course the key is getting in while the land is still affordable. But how do you know where to go? That's where our company comes in. So a little bit about our company, Velur Enterprises. We're a premier land banking company in Southern California. I say premier because we do more real estate transactions than any other real estate company in all of LA County. We're ranked in the top 1% in Dun & Bradstreet, so stellar credit rating. Feel free to look us up. We've been in business since 1979, over 34 years, specializing in land banking only in Southern California. We do nothing with structures. We do nothing with development. I call ourselves lazy investors. We just like to buy the land, set it and forget it, and one day developer comes knocking and they're going to pay us big money for the resource that they need in order to make their development. This is our core competency right here. All of our properties go through what we call this scrubbing process that we have perfected over the past 34 years. Like I said in the beginning, if you buy land wrong to begin with, it will always be wrong. So Velur wants to make sure that it's the highest quality land out there that can be developed. The biggest risk in land is not what you see, it's what you do not see that can hurt you. The hidden landmines. And here in California, they don't have to disclose that information to you. If you don't know how to find it out yourself, good luck. You probably shouldn't buy the land. So VREN covers that for our investors. Now let's talk about the money. That's what we all are here for, right? If you're going to be investing in land, you want money. This is what we call arbitrage through agglomeration. Arbitrage is where you're literally blocking a developer from being able to develop. They can't move forward until they have your land. Agglomeration is what you see happening in Dublin right now, that constant growth of development going up the side of the hill. So here's an investor, 2.27 acres they purchased for $67,500. Still affordable. A lot of people have that amount of money in their old 401ks right now. He bought this L-shaped property. Well, a developer came along and wanted to develop out this whole area, which this is 1 square mile here on the screen, to build brand new homes. Every day that our investor would not sell the developer their land, the developer was losing money by not getting started. So obviously they're going to keep raising the price, raising the price. We sit back as the not so willing seller. The developer is the very willing buyer, begging us for the resource that they need. 18 months after he purchased his property, he sold it for $300,000 cash. I particularly love this example because my husband Rick and I, we just purchased a property last year that's less than half a mile from this one. That's our property, that blue square. Now let's look at it on a Google image. You can see that's where that housing development came in. There's our property. Literally a month after we purchased our property, we heard from the city that there's going to be a whole new miracle mile of commercial development that's coming in within less than half a mile of our property. That's causing the value of our land to go up. So just real quick on how land values work. The Urban Land Institute has done studies, and they found that when a new development comes into an area, it's causing the surrounding value of land within a 3-mile radius to go up in value. So if you think about it, if you buy a home in the center of downtown Pleasanton, it's probably going to cost more per square foot than a home on the outskirts of Livermore is, because it's because of the development. It affects all real estate. So all new developments within a 3-mile radius is causing the value of my land to go up, and I'm doing nothing for that. New commercial development, brand new infrastructure coming in. It costs about $600,000 for the city to put a street light in on the corner. That's causing the value of my land to go up. Brand new housing development coming in. Here's another Velur investor who had purchased 5 acres for $350,000. They got an offer from a developer for $1.6 million, which they turned down. They got another offer for $2.1 million, which they turned down. Some people say, well, what the heck is wrong with them? They're crazy, take the money and run, right? Well, they know what's going on. They know that the county is going to be spending over $5 billion putting in a super freeway right next to their land. And their land is going to be right off of an on and off ramp. The city or the county is not going to be spending millions or billions of dollars on infrastructure improvements or upgrades for no reason. They do that because they're planning for the future growth and development of an area. For example, this is a picture of Rancho Cucamonga in 2002. The city just spent $38 million putting an on and off ramp in. Not doing it for no reason. If you buy the land ahead of time, 10 years later, this is what happens. Just have to be there before it comes in. So we only exclusively invest in California. There's many, many reasons why, but a huge reason is because of land scarcity. This is why real estate in California is so much more expensive than other real estate throughout the United States. This is a study done by UC Berkeley in 1998. It's 16 years old. 100 million acres total in California. You subtract all the government land, all the farmland, all the land that can't be developed, all the land that's already been developed. There's only 2% of California's land left to be developed. And that was 16 years ago. Have any of you seen some development happening in the past 16 years? Probably. I guarantee there's a lot less than that available. So if you take a house built here in Pleasanton, say 3,000 square foot house, roughly $1 million, move it to Ohio, same structure, pick it up, move it to Ohio, now it's worth 80% less in Ohio. Why is that? It has nothing to do with the physical structure itself. What holds the value? It's the dirt underneath. That's why we invest in land. Like Forbes said, in California, land prices contribute far more than half the cost of housing here. We just want to be a lazy investor, own the dirt. Might be a little bit ugly, might be boring, but it can create tremendous wealth if you do it right. So we exclusively invest within a 60-mile radius of downtown Los Angeles. If you look at that circle holds only 5% of California's total land, but half of California's total population. I'm sure you've driven to Disneyland at some point in your life and sat in traffic the whole time. That's why we invest there, all that population. I love sitting in traffic in LA because I know it's causing the value of my land to go up in value. It's all a matter of perspective, right? So here's some important trends and positive indicators that we look at for land banking. We want to invest in an area where multiple trends are causing that area to grow. We don't invest there because, oh, we think there's going to be a retirement community coming in. You're risking your money when you invest like that. There's a proper way to invest in land. So I'm going to touch on one little subset of one of those trends, the consumer industry and supply chain. Who in here has purchased something from Amazon at some point in your life? I'm sure several of you. I have something on the way right now from Amazon. But there's a new thing called the Amazon effect. And what is the Amazon effect? It's a multiple of different things. Number one, they have a loyalty program, Amazon.com Prime. So for $99 a year, I believe, you can have unlimited free shipping from Amazon. So they're creating loyal customers. And they're getting paid for that as well. And then they're going to open up brick and mortar buildings. Now, Amazon sells about 300 million different products. How could they possibly open up a store big enough to hold 300 million products? They can't. It would be like 10 times the size of Costco. It would be ridiculous. What they're opening up are these little boutique stores that are similar to like a Starbucks, Apple store combination, where you basically, in the mall, you go into the Amazon store, nicely dressed salesperson with their little iPad, and they upsell you, side sell you, and buy your groceries, shoes, and diapers all at the same time in the mall. One store. And then they provide it to you within a 24 to 48 hour period. This is where it's key for us as land bankers who own the land. How are they providing you goods that quickly? Through fulfillment centers. Massive, massive distribution centers that are coming in throughout the United States. And they want these centers to be within 100 to 200 mile range of the major metro markets. These are the areas where we invest in Velur, all within 100-mile range of the major metro markets. 19 million people in this area, all of them buying on Amazon. And Amazon is not the only company doing this. Amazon is putting other companies out of business. Walmart has to change, Target has to change, eBay is doing it, Google is doing it. It's not just Amazon. And the only areas left where we're investing, or in LA, to invest in land for these distribution centers, coming from the Southern California Association of Governments, 71.5% of LA County's total potential space is located right where we're investing. Furthermore, they're saying that by the year 2028, 14 years from now, the region will run out of suitably zoned vacant land. It's a matter of knowing the knowledge and applying it. That's what we're doing. They're telling us, the government is telling us the land is running out. We just have to buy it while we can. Amazon has already spent $14 billion buying industrial land for these massive distribution centers. This is what they've done so far as building. 2013 to 2016, they're going to build another 47 million square feet. That's enough land to build 6,714 housing units, if you can imagine. So that's a lot of land. So today what I covered, that's just literally the tip of the iceberg. There's so much behind what we do, how we do it, where we do it, and the trends that are causing these areas to grow. I love sitting down with mortgage brokers, real estate agents, and explaining this in further detail in case you might have clients that are interested in this type of opportunity. And of course, we pay you for that, which we'll touch on shortly. But again, we focus here where cost is minimal, time to development is shorter. When it looks like this, out here, middle of nowhere. The only one living out there is maybe the Unabomber. There's no Walmart, there's no McDonald's, even though it's cheap. Or you could invest here, but you've got to be a multi-millionaire. That's $25 million per acre at that point. Way too late. So U.S. land as a whole is getting more expensive because more and more development continues to come in. And there's less and less land. Simple supply and demand, like I said. And the reality is more and more people are having to wait longer for retirement. This is why I do this. To help people diversify their portfolio. I'm not saying put all your money into one basket. It's just a great way to diversify. For example, if you're 55 years old, you have to save $4,000 a month until the age of 70 to reach $1 million. There's no way you can retire on $1 million, especially here in California. And that's growing at 5% every year. The nice thing with land is it's a set it and forget it investment. We buy it once, it grows without us ever being there, it never calls me on the phone, it doesn't give me any hassles, it's not going to disappear. Then one day a developer comes knocking. I never had to keep feeding it to make it go up in value like you do with your 401ks and IRAs. So this is the average investment range, 25 grand to 300. There's properties on either end, and the majority of people use cash, old 401ks and IRAs, or 1031 exchanges. And of course, like I said, we like to pay referral fees. Actually, we call them a marketing consultant fee to be proper. You send me someone, buys a $100,000 property, I'll write you a check for $2 grand. So if you have one of your friends, family members, clients say any of the following, my 401k or IRA only goes up when I put money into it. Good investment deals are hard to find, which I know, there's not as much real estate out there or opportunities out there that there used to be. I'm sick of tenants, toilets, and termites. I want to diversify my portfolio. I need to do a 1031 exchange, or I can't put away enough money to retire. Those are all excellent candidates for land banking. So General Douglas describes it best when he says, all a man has to do to get rich in America is find out where people are going, get there first, buy land while it's affordable, and then wait. It's really that simple. So thank you very much, everyone, for your time today. I hope you all have a very happy holidays. Again, my name is Marcella Silva with Velur Enterprises. My contact information is on the screen. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you very much. Was that great information or what, everybody? Yeah, very good, very good. So,